a continuation, as just another example. For example, in our tendus, so when you start moving into things happening in the front, in the side, and in the back, there's certain arm placements for that as well. General rule of thumb, if you're in the front, if your leg is working to the front, the arm will be up in our high fifth, which we're familiar with from working in second position. So instead of both arms being over the head, one arm is at the bar, and then your one arm is shining the light on your face. I still have my ballet fingers, shoulders are down, and I'm activating my back. So if I were to do my 2 tendus to the front, I'd go tendu and tendu. Yeah? Difference in schools here. When you're transitioning to the side, there's an option. You either are coming down through the first and opening out, or you're opening directly to the side. Okay? For our purposes, I would prefer, if you're working and you're new, to come through first and open. Okay? So that way you still feel that operation, rather than sometimes we can just drop down here if we're not really thinking about it. So if I were to do 2 tendus to the front, and then I'm going to change, and I have my tendus to the side. So now if you work to the side or to your diagonal, your feet are going to mimic. So second position feet generally means second position arm. So we have our second, right? Shoulder is the highest point, finger is the lowest. The elbows are lifted and forward, so we're not catching any water droplets in our elbows. When I go to the arabesque, to the back, I bring my arm through first. Now in an arabesque position, I'm reaching back with my shoulder and forward with my finger. I didn't invent it. Blame the French. So I'm here. I'm reaching forward, but still trying to pull it back because I don't want to change my ribs. It's this idea of the shoulder staying where it is and the finger reaching out, as if you're trying to touch something. A really great way to think about this is Sleeping Beauty, Aurora, when she goes to touch the spindle, right? You want to touch it, but you're not really sure that you should, right? Or when your mom tells you that the stove is hot and you're like, but is it really hot, right? So this is pulling back because you know better, but you want to try, right? There's a slight dip in the elbow just for aesthetic purposes, so we're not full straight jazz hand pressing down. There's a slight bend, but there's still energy, okay? So it's a lifted elbow. It's an engaged elbow. So that position when I'm going to the back, I'm reaching and looking in front, and then if I change to the side, my arm comes to first, and then as my leg opens, so does my arm. I'm going to transition close to first. As I come back up to the front, so does my arm. Right, so try that a few times. Let's do 2 tendus in the front, to the side, to the back. Your arms will travel. They start up for 2. They'll transition to first, and they'll open to second for 2. Transition it back to the first position. Reach with the fingertips, but pull back with the elbow. Reach for something far away. You can't quite reach it. Bring it back to first. Open it out to second position, and then we'll finish. We'll do our encore, front side, back side. Doesn't matter what foot. Go ahead and lift that arm above the head. Shoulders down, arm in front, head is light. Take 2 tendus to the front. Now close the arm and the feet. Open the arm with the foot, go out to second. Close the arm and the feet. Now as your toes reach back, your fingers reach front. Close the arm and the feet. As your toes reach side, so does your arm. And take a finish. I'll show you the other side. Just for good purposes, I'll put my hand on my hip. This is really at the bar. Yeah? Arm is above, shoulders are down, back is lifted, belly is supporting. I take 2 to the front. As I close, so does my feet. My arm and leg opens to my second, reaching in front. Close the arm and the feet. Reach the fingers away as the toes go away. Close the arm and the feet after 2. Go to your second, open, and close. So those are some basic arms that we do with our Tendus. So if you're ever working in the front, the arm will always usually be same arm as leg because you're working at the bar. It'll travel to the side for the side. It'll reach while the foot goes from the back to the front. Think about that line from your finger to your toe, right? That's got to make a line. It makes a line. It makes a line. If that helps you think about connecting those things together, think about drawing a line. So if I'm in the front, my finger has to be here to connect to my toe. I've got to be able to connect my finger to my toe. I connect my finger to my toe. Yeah, so it creates that classic line that we always see in our ballet classes. All right, so that was Tendu.